still got this candy sitting here. That's a little bit more up close and personal, this, isn't it? These are the licorice ones. Well, the best ever. This is sweet, though. Sweet's not my favorite, but, you know, I can't complain. I have a couple of things to talk about. And, no. First of, we'll go in order. I've had Christmas and New Year's, which was, well, basically very nice. I didn't cook a thing. My wife did all the cooking, which was nice. She's pretty good at that. We had a big turkey, and we're just the three of us. So we had a lot left, but we ate that the next day with friends and stuff. It was nice. And, well, it's not really the custom to do gifts under the Christmas tree. We have a different kind of Santa Claus that we celebrate at the beginning of December. He basically looks like the fat Santa, but he's thin. But he comes around and gives gifts and stuff, and so we do all our giftage at the beginning of December, and then it's sort of optional, you know. You can do gifts, or you don't. We sort of did a little bit of giftage, and I got something really nice from my wife, which I'm really grateful for, because she gave me something that I really liked, and I gave her the Twin Peaks DVD set, which is like 10 DVDs, and it has all the episodes of Twin Peaks on it, which is great. Twin Peaks, I love it. We watched one episode, and it was a different kind of nostalgia, I guess. My wife's not a gamer, so but she knows that I'm into anime and cartoons and that kind of stuff. So she got me this. This is a book on Studio Ghibli. Now, if you're not familiar with Studio Ghibli, it is an animation studio, Japanese animation studio, founded by Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata. I have to read it off the book because I can't remember the names. But this is a couple of people who had worked together before they started Studio Ghibli. Now we're talking right after the Second World War. This is when they started doing animations and stuff. So this is really early days. And they worked together on some projects. They were colleagues, and then they moved apart. And this book talks about briefly about their history together and how these two guys got together and wanted to make animated movies. Now, they founded Studio Ghibli mostly driven by the wish of making animated movies with a story that they wanted to tell, which is, to read between the lines, it's all about nature and how the development of children and how we as humans interact with our environment and that kind of heavy stuff. And this book basically goes into every film that they made together in Studio Ghibli, but because these two fellas made so much stuff before they founded Studio Ghibli, it was a sort of it's not always clear that when you have a cartoon or a cartoon, I keep saying cartoon, but if you find an animated film that was made by one of these two characters or by both of them, then that film may or may not have been made while they were Studio Ghibli. Some of them were made before, but were republished under the Studio Ghibli name. So there's always some sort of debate going on about whether a specific film is or is not a Studio Ghibli film. Eventually, they won Oscars with, I think, Spirited Away. Anyway, it's a very interesting book. It goes into every film that they made. It's a little lofty. It's it reads between the lines quite a lot, but it's exciting. I love this stuff. So I've been looking for the films, and I found them, of course. And actually, just now I watched the first episode of Conan the Boy from Future, or Conan Future Boy, or the title varies depending on where it was published. But what strikes me, it gives me the same feeling as the cartoons that I used to watch on Saturday mornings. When I woke up, I had a little black and white TV. I used to turn it on. I didn't have a remote control, but I had a long wooden stick that I used to change the channels with. And on the BBC, they had cartoons. And I watched those cartoons. Oh, it's nice, but it's... Oh. So to me, they're just cartoons. And I'm watching this stuff. Now, some of these, I mean, this is My Neighbor Totoro, so this is a little bit more recent. But some of the cartoons, some of the films or series, I should say, they're really old. And you can tell, I mean, they don't age very well compared to animated movies that are made today, which are completely rendered on computers. This is all hand-drawn stuff, 24 frames a second, drawing this stuff at 24. It's painstaking work. It's a lot of work. But the atmosphere, the pages of the movie, the story, the character development, it's much like a game, actually. It's very, very nice. I really like it. So I intend to watch all the films and watch as much animated films, and some of this stuff was published as series on Japanese TV. Some of it was translated. It's a bit trying to find the stuff that you can follow. The Conan Boy from Future Boy Conan is actually a Japanese audio with English subtitles, which is good enough. I like it. And halfway through each episode, there is a sort of a scene where they used to have a commercial there. They left the scene in, so you can. It sort of takes you back in time. What Japanese kids were watching back then. So it's nice. I've been getting into that, and that has sort of triggered me also into doing some more art and doing some more drawings. I'm working on a couple of things. One of the things that I'm working on, I think I'm supposed to keep it a secret, but it's just sort of a joint venture between me and another YouTuber. Just stay tuned. That'll be out soon, I guess. I mean, there's no time limit, but I did some of the artwork for that, and we'll just have to see what it turns out to be. I'm pretty excited about it because it's sort of new for me. It's something that I wanted to do by myself, but now I've had some help, it's a co-production. So we'll see. It's exciting. But I've also started drawing, and I just wanted to show it. Can you see this? Is this is just sort of a standard anime kind of girl, and when you draw this kind of thing, the most important thing are the eyes. You got to get the eyes right. the eyes aren't right, the whole thing is just trash, basically. So, but you may also be able to make out some of the other characters. I just decided to draw some of the YouTubers. So this is a Chad Bailey, actually. Is that? Can you see that? Yeah. See, my camera doesn't. My camera. Hey, this is good. My camera recognizes faces, and you can't see it, but on my screen there, it's recognizing this as a face. So that's good. But if I hold it too close, my camera doesn't autofocus, because you can hear the servos when it does that. So I turn it off. So Chad, I did a little gas head Steve here. Another Chad here. I got Daz, of course, we know him. I got Lee, Retro Chef. I thought was a. This is just me looking at my YouTube listing or whatever you call it, and seeing what's so. This is no particular selection here. I got Jeremy Grub Gun is there, of course. I did this. Now this is all still pencil that I sort of turn into. Oh, Mark is here, of course. Lactobacillus. And I've been trying to capture the essence of each YouTuber, in a couple of strokes. And I got a couple of Jeremys here. Who was way harder than I thought. I'm still in the process of trying to eliminate stuff and getting him down to a couple of lines. It's working, I think. But and then I wanted to do some color as well. I mean, until now I've been scanning this pencil stuff. I use black ink to make it as simple as I can, and then I scan it, which gives me a bitmapped file, which I put into Photoshop or something along those lines, and I clean it up. I pump up the contrast, and so I get really clear lines, and then I move it over to Illustrator or Inkscape or whatever kind of software that does tracing, and it turns the lines that I drew into actual vector traces, and it does that pretty well. And then I can color it, and that's what I wanted to talk about. I've been coloring on the computer, which is fine, but this one I did on paper. This is a little Jeremy with his middle finger, like that. I don't know if you can make that out. But I added a little shading. So I've been looking into how to do that well. Now, the obvious choice is watercolor. But watercolor makes me nervous because it flows all over the place. It's supposed to do that because you can blend the colors that way. And then I thought, why don't I try watercolor pencil, which is possible. So I went to a store and I tried some of that, but when you buy pencils, you buy a set and you get primary colors, but what you want is the in-between colors. And if you wanted that, then pencils can be expensive too. So I thought, if I'm gonna spend money, why not do it right and go the way of the pro, And I did. I took a small step because it costs a shitload of money, but these are Copic markers. These are markers, professional markers by Copic. That is just a brand. But the good thing is these are the Chow range. It's just a color range, I suppose. This is what they do. They have two ends. They have like a sharp end, and they have a blocky end. And the good thing is if you use the right kind of paper, you can blend the colors, which is important. I mean, this is not the right kind of paper, so the blending isn't perfect, but you can already see, this is my very first try, by the way, so. But what you can see already is that it sort of blends very nicely. I mean, at first I thought, well, it's not very, doesn't look very good. I only bought skin color, by the way, because I didn't have the money on me to do all the rest. But I think it actually looks quite okay. So I'm anxious to find out what it does under the scanner. If I scan this, I'd have to scan it as a full color picture. So it's just all new. But that's what I'm doing. I'm planning on doing YouTubers, and what I do with that, I don't know. Maybe I'll just make it available so you can all make your own T-shirt with your own Highlander-made logo on it. I'll have to draw myself eventually as well, but you know, I can do my own logo already. So I don't even have a T-shirt with my own logo on it. How about that, huh? Somebody give me that. Somebody make it available to me. And then let me switch the background. There we go. I made a video at the end of last year about my collection goals, and I thought, why not make my collection goal very specific and make a list of games? And I've put them up behind me. I'm not sure if you can read all the titles, but these are the titles that I want to get. I'm obviously hiding one that you haven't seen yet. Whatever. It's not important, but I got some of them. I got Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Konami game. Everybody knows the Castlevania series. I've actually been playing Super Castlevania 4 on the Super NES, which is just a very nice game to play. I mean, you know, it's not, well, I haven't finished it, of course, but it's, I'm enjoying it a lot. The music, you know, the atmosphere, the gameplay, I mean, it's one of the better Castlevanias in the whole series. And I'm enjoying it, but this was my goal. This is on the PS3, Castlevania Lords of Shadow. And the other game, because I was planning on buying one game a month. Now, these aren't very expensive games. Some of them, you know, Caladius Blaze is an expensive game, so I won't be getting that very soon, and maybe not at all, I don't know. But I did enter a little contest by Helmeto. I don't even know how to pronounce your name correctly, so I'm sorry if I'm botching it up, but he had a contest that I entered, and I didn't win first prize, but I won, and he had a very good idea for a prize, because I've entered contests before, contests where you know the prize, you know, the prizes are shown before the contest is started, and you know, you enter the thing, but you know already, you know, it's going to be an Xbox 360 game, or a game for a console that you don't have. And I was sort of hoping, you know, if I win it, maybe I can give it to someone else, or you know, or keep your prize or whatever. It's but this time there was the prize was $25 in your PayPal account. I thought that was a good idea. And I won, and we got in touch, and I said, well, this is my email address, and bang, you know, the same within the hour, I think. So thank you. I was really happy with that. I'm gonna put a link in the description to your channel, because I always watch your stuff, and this you know, I won a prize. I like that. I like winning prizes, but that got me this. I bought this, which was more expensive. jump cut. Expensive is like anything over $10. This is a Devil May Cry the HD collection, and this is actually 3 games. It's Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3, and this is new. This is wrapped. This is still original PS3 logo on the cellophane wrapped, and I paid for it with the money that I won. So basically, I haven't spent any money. You know, so that's good. So I can take 2 games off the old, you know, back to the old stuff. Games, Ghibli, art. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I haven't been playing much video games, actually. Many video games. I haven't been playing much. I haven't even turned on my PS3. I did download a couple. I did buy some other stuff, but I think I bought this. Some of the deals on the PlayStation Network are really good. You know, you can get a good game for a tiny price. So. That's good. So I did spend some money, but I stayed inside the collection goals. Oh, and another thing that I bought was 2 books. I'm following Tony Cruz in Electric Adventures develop a homebrew game series. We're now at part 2, and I think his main focus is going to be on the Z80 processor and its peripheral chips, and I don't know anything about that, so I bought 2 books that Tony recommended. They haven't arrived yet, but that's what I got as well. So I'm off to watch part 2 of the Conan cartoon. I'm just gonna say cartoon. I used to call them cartoons. They were just cartoons. Now they're anime. They're just cartoons. What's the difference? What's the difference between cartoon and anime? It's just a Japanese word, right? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So, see you everybody, and I think this is I can't even see. My eyesight is, this is like 4 minutes, so it's gonna be 25 minutes. That's a nice round number. Have a great whatever 2015 first video of the year, and I'll see you guys again in the next video.